So I'll just do my usual.
Yeah.
Hello, Premier Queen channel. Thank you very much for watching our channel. And today I have a very special guest, my friends, Miki and Rei. Please introduce yourself.
Do you want me to start? Hi, my name is Miki. I currently work in journalism here in Tokyo. And throughout the years that I've been in the industry, I've reported on a whole bunch of LGBTQI plus communities and the issues surrounding it, the lack of progress or the progress that Japan is making. And Mari here is a good friend of mine, so I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I think LGBTQI plus issue is an extremely personal one as well. I'm personally bisexual. I like both boys and girls, I guess. And so I'm very happy to be asking and answering any of the questions that we're going to be having in this discussion.
I'm excited.
Wow. Well, okay.
And Rei?
Yes. My name is Rei. I'm half Swedish and half Japanese, and I spent most of my life living in Sweden. But since 2 years ago, I moved to Japan. And I am hetero, it's what I think at least. I've been hetero so far, haven't tried much other things than being hetero. And until now, I feel like I've mostly been a curious bystander, but I'm so excited to be here because I want to dive deep and learn more about the LGBT community in Japan. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. So, how should we start? So, we would like to start with a casual conversation to start with. So, what's the first topic should be?
Well, I think, it's always nice to start, light and cute and fresh. So I think one question, since we have someone that spent, most of his life and childhood, etc., in a country other than Japan, just to take advantage of that. I guess one thing, it could be in a heterosexual relationship as well, but, especially coming into the LGBTQI sphere, and in terms of dating and meeting people, of course, in the time of COVID, things get a little bit funky and strange, but, in terms of dating and meeting people and hitting on people, I just kind of want to know whether there are differences.
For sure, who should start? Me.
Sure.
The dating style. Some of you might already know, but I've never dated any Japanese until I met my girlfriend. So I struggled a bit in terms of expressing the affections, because I found Japanese people are more shy when it comes to expressing how we feel about the one you like and all.
Yeah.
And also, what else? The dating style. Dating style? What else?
Ray, do you have?
Yeah, I think it's hard to compare it because what are you comparing to?
Yeah,
but
exactly, yeah.
I'm from my experience, having gay friends in Sweden, being in a lot of gay bars, I feel like people are very openly gay in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, even, when you're not at a specific gay bar, it's very easy to see when gay people hit on you. It sounds very oh yeah, you're hetero, so every gay person hits at you. But but what I mean is just it seems that when I went in Sweden, I got hit on. Well, a lot of boys would hit on me. But then when I come to Japan, I'm wondering don't boys find me attractive here, or is the Japanese dating style for gay people different? Do you think they're more subtle, or they don't want to be outed or be found out that they're gay?
Compared to Ireland or the Brazil where I spent some time, I think Japanese people are more in the closet.
Yeah.
They are definitely more quiet about their sexuality. So I think that's why there are less opportunities that guys hit on you in Japan.
Mm.
And also, maybe if they are hitting on you, maybe you don't know, because they do it in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe they have different ways to show that they are interested in you. Yeah, so
I have a question. So like in like Europe, Scandinavia, Brazil, wherever it is, how do they show you that they're interested compared to, you know, your experiences
That's a
here?
good point. Yeah. They are very direct with their own words.
Oh,
They-
words.
Yeah, like they're very explicit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy to know that, oh, she likes me or she's interested in me.
For sure.
Yeah. And I personally think like Japanese women are not really interested in me, unlike you, because girls hit on you, right?
Yeah, a lot more than men.
So I don't want to
men
talk
do
about
not
this,
approach
but-
me.
Only women.
So maybe like there's something that there's something in you that attracts like Japanese women, but like so.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what
I
it
would
is?
like
It's
to
my
know what it
hair.
is. Like you're very cute and you're very open.
Yeah, but I would like to have a bitter sex appeal more than cute.
But do you think so? I wonder, like, what do you think? Because you say like men hit on you, then, right? Like,
Compared to women, yeah.
yeah. So like that means that in Japan, at least, like you have a attraction that attracts men, right? Like maybe I wonder if it's like your looks or your energy or.
I would also like to know. I think I'm very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even like abroad, like outside of Japan, usually men hit on me, and not compared. Like men hit on me a lot more than women hit on me.
Hmm.
Maybe because like they're like that's like sexual majority. So maybe that's the case as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But-
wondering too, right? Like, do you think maybe men hit on you more because men in general just hit on women more? Even like in the lesbian community, or
In lesbian community.
I'm just wondering, like, is it common when someone knows that someone else is lesbian? Is it very common to like directly hit on someone? Like, you know, when in the gay community, it's very common for two men to just hit on each other and like very openly show that they're attracted to someone.
I mean, if you go to the like lesbian club,
Yeah.
then people expect that at least you're not.
You're interested in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So maybe in the club it happens, but I want to know like your case, right? So like when you said like in Sweden guys hit on you,
Yeah.
did they hit on you like everywhere you go, like, or was it like the specific area? And
Well,
how
I
did they hit on you?
Yes, we all want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like gay guys find me attractive more than women. Like I've been called Big Bear a lot. Like I look like a big bear, and I think that you know, many gay people like that. But I think it's very like unsubtle. I feel like when gay people hit on me, in that they would ask, you know, like, am I gay? If I was gay, would, you know, like, would I be top or bottom? Like, there's no, like, yeah, I feel like there's no, like, subtlety, like, where I'm like, is this guy hitting on me? He's like, 100% he's hitting on me.
Yeah.
Because he's saying that he's
Okay.
hitting on me.
So direct.
But in Japan, so for example, in terms of subtlety, I think Japan in itself is like a country that values subtlety in
Yeah.
its language and its body, communication, whatever it is. So in Japan, do you think, even despite the fact that everyone's subtle in terms of like hitting on you or like talking up to, like, you know, whatever it is, do you think in the LGBTQI plus community, do you think that subtlety is enhanced even more?
Like I said, I mean, within the specific area like Shinjuku and Chome, they are not, because they're very open about their sexuality there, right?
Mm.
So, and many of them are there to look for partners or
Yeah,
to spend
yeah,
some
yeah.
nights with, right? So I don't think they're subtle there, but it's very personal. But me and my girlfriend, I felt like, oh my god, like, when are we, you know, when is it happening, you know, because she was very subtle. She was very subtle, so she was very gentle, but she was so too subtle, so I wasn't even sure if she really liked me.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I do respect that's her way. She didn't want to like be too aggressive on me from the very beginning, but I was waiting for it, you know. So compared to like the other women that I've experienced before, my girlfriend is very subtle.
But it sounds like you're also subtle then, right?
Yes.
Like because you're waiting for, and also you're saying all your other girlfriends also, right? Like you're waiting for them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my preference, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, so you're saying it's a preference. So does that mean that like everyone has a preference of is there, you know, like they're a taker or a giver kind of in the lesbian community?
I mean, it applies to even like the heterosexual couple as well, who wants to follow and who wants to be followed, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And LGBT community is definitely a lot more like. They do care so much more like compared to like the heterosexual.
Why?
I don't know, like especially in Japan because like, so again before I met my girlfriend, no women ask me are you top or bottom, no. But like on our very first date, my girlfriend asked me if I'm a top or bottom, or even when I go to the lesbian, I went to some lesbian like events. Yeah. And even though like it was like the very first time that I meet someone, the first thing that they ask is like, are you top or bottom? And I'm like, seriously, that's too personal. Yeah. But in Japan, I think it really matters to me because they have this like stereotype image of like the top should act like a
dominant.
Yeah.
But it's like a bottom has to be with a top. Like two tops can't be together. That's what you're asking?
That's what I hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Maybe. I don't know, they'll be like wrestling each other to see who wants to be on the top or something. Yeah. And then the two bottoms just like lying in bed like, I don't know, just like guessing.
But that sounds like something we should bring to the hetero world, right? Like if I knew that, you know, someone I'm interested in is bottom and I'm top, the relationship would work much better, right? We all live in this, like we don't really know and it's just this game of trying to figure out, right? As a hetero person. Do you think you could get like that idea, put it in a hetero relationship too?
Yeah, you know, that is like such a good question, right? Yeah. Like, you know, I'm obviously not an expert in, you know, any of these conversations by any means, but I just feel like that topic of top or bottom in any sort of partnerships, you know, in any sort of gay relationships, like that is so prominent, right? Whereas in heterosexual relationships, you just kind of like figure it out and see how it goes. But you, at the same time, right? Like that could be a source of conflict without not knowing who is like, you know, the dominant person, whatever it is, you know, I hate that word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. That is super interesting.
And like, that's not the everything, you know, like, I mean, cause I don't know, like, I feel like I'm trying to choose the words. Yeah. But I mean, even if okay, I'm gonna use a dominant. But even if you're dominant with somebody, maybe if you're like with a different partner, maybe you'll be the dominant one compared to the other one. So like, I think that can be flexible. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't know, like by asking like, are you top or the bottom from the very first time? It's like you're like already like losing the opportunity, you know, to get to know each other more. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think. And how are girls hitting on you? Like, how do you know?
How do I know?
I'm so curious.
I think they just talk to you and, like, you just know, right? Like, they just talk to you in a way that, you know, they lock their eyes. Kind of, you know, a bit flirty. Yeah. Or you can tell they're a bit nervous. Like, whatever it is. You just see signs of it.
That really doesn't happen to me. I mean, like, I mean, when I think somebody's attractive, I give signs to the girls, like a little bit, because they don't guess that, you know, I like girls. So I have to show some signs that like, oh, like I think you're very attractive and all, and then I wait for their reaction. Again, I'm gonna be waiting again, but I have to show them that I'm interested in them. So like, I want to know what is it that you have. So that's why I wanted to talk about the vibe. Because some people apparently have vibes, but I don't know.
But I'm just curious that when you say like you give them, you know, signs, do you think those signs are the same for men and women? Like, do you think you give different signs to a woman than you would if you were trying to attract a man?
I'm more obvious towards women
Okay.
because they have to
Like, little
know, right?
here, yeah.
Yeah, so like I let them know that
I want you.
no,
Okay.
So subtle.
but like yeah, like because I first have to let them know that I also like girls, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't guess that I am. And then I have to like compliment them or like let them know that like
Compliment them, really?
Wow.
yeah.
I compliment everyone all the time.
But in a different way. You give the look, like you said, you give the look.
I
And
see, I see.
you show that you're special, like you show someone that person is special to me, like that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I guess vibes, right? I feel like it's quite interesting because I definitely like, you know, I've dated more men for sure. I have like very little experience with women in general, but I just feel like I do give off this vibe that I'm like, you know, kind of available to women, which is so great. Like I'm so
Yeah,
flattered.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder what it is. Like maybe you
think
give off a
so.
vibe as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I have some kind of vibe that people think is a gay vibe. Like maybe like 30% of my vibes are gay. So that gay people hit on me more than someone super hetero. Like super macho, right?
Yeah.
But super macho can be gay too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
that's
true.
true. That's true.
But maybe a super macho person would have the same problem as you, that he wouldn't attract gay people because they wouldn't know. Or do you think like there's a macho gay, and then you know like it's not about like how masculine or feminine you are. It's all about like having the aura or the vibe. Or is it like, let's say you're like more masculine, do you think you would attract more lesbian people?
Ooh, bunch.
That word. I'm far from the bunch, you know?
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, just
But-
feeding off of Ray's comment,
Yeah.
question, like,
yeah.
you know, like I think, like
But
as
you-
unfortunate as it is, I feel
Uh-huh.
like there is still that dichotomy between, you know, what's considered macho
Uh-huh.
and like, you know, what's considered feminine, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like there are like energies and vibes associated with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously lean towards the feminine vibes and the
Uh-huh,
energy, right?
uh-huh.
So like, okay, if you are attracting men because if you have that energy, if you switch it up, like, you know, whatever switching you need to do,
Yeah.
maybe you'll attract
Do the stereotypes. Like
horrible, but
Yeah, like, I don't think my girlfriend's gonna like stay with me if I do that. Yeah, like, I mean, but yeah, that really makes sense.
but it's so unfortunate, right? Like,
But,
yeah, because we live in this like world where like fluidity is just so important, increasingly important, right?
Yeah.
But there is still that dichotomy, and you know, people kind of fall into the trap of like going into accepting that dichotomy, unknowingly or knowingly.
No, like you make a really interesting point, but the thing is that Miki, you're not a butch at all, you know.
No, but I do.
So,
I do soccer.
I play football, yeah.
Oh, not soccer.
I used to live in Ireland, so I call it football, yeah.
Yeah.
but no, like I really want, yeah, 'cause the vibe. I'm still talking about the vibe, but like I think you're like the expert about vibes.
I don't
Because
know
you
any.
attract girls, right? And you also said I look like lesbian,
Yeah,
and people really don't say that about me. They don't really guess that.
Yeah.
But you say I have that lesbian vibe, so I want to know like the vibe.
the vibes. Well, I don't know. I think it's like how you portray yourself, right? And I think there is like that high, like sexual energy in like the best way possible, right? And I feel like I just get that from you. Okay,
Oh.
right?
no, I'm very curious.
No,
Because it's like
because like I've known Mari for a very
Yeah.
long time, right? And you just literally met
Yeah.
her last week, and
Yeah.
you know, like I think you have a fresh idea.
yeah, no, but you're right, like, you know, when you're in a normal setting, when you're just like talking at a cafe or whatever, I think then all you have to go on, because nobody's themselves when they meet for the first time. So obviously you just have to go on like how they look, or like, you know, how they say words, like very like simple things, and then I would think you're hetero, just like from the first sign, because like that's the go-to, right? If you don't know, you just assume people are hetero.
Yeah, that's the majority.
Yeah, and I'm just very curious, like maybe if you got like put in a situation that's like out of the ordinary, that's when you find out like the vibe, the energy, you know what I mean? Like if you see like a naked man just run in here, for example, like different reactions.
I don't know what it would do, like get my knife out?
Yeah, that's true actually. I don't know.
Nice.
Well, like, okay, that's my
really
example.
sharp carbon knife.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, if you're like on a computer and it was like a pop-up with like a naked man on or like a naked woman, like the look in your eyes or something, would that like be an easier way to tell? You know what I mean?
I get that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like a colleague was gay from my former company.
Yeah.
And then he realized that he thought I was a lesbian because when I'm talking to girls, I'm sweeter. And my voice even goes like softer compared to when I'm talking to men. So that's how he found out, oh my god, she's still lesbian. So maybe that's the vibe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It's just like have to be in a different comfort zone, right? Because we can all act a role, and then it's really hard to tell whatever someone's doing. But like if you take people out of that comfort zone, or like if you're drunk or whatever, usually then the dynamics shift, and it's easier to tell how someone really is. And that's the like, yeah, I would be super curious to know like, would I be able to tell if you're lesbian, or if you're hetero, like based on like that's like a scenario that's not like where you feel like you have to have a role, kind of.
It's a question for you, I think.
But I don't expect an answer. It's just like a very interesting mind experiment, right? And I think that would also like help you know like what is the real vibes you give out, and like are those vibes that people generally associate with being lesbian or
Like, I kind of get your point. So when some people say that, oh, I'm not surprised to hear that you are with a woman, because really, they all say that, like, when I'm talking to women, I'm softer, like, somehow. That I get. But is that how you see me?
No.
Right? So I'm curious. So
freaking
in that your way, I get it. But when Miki tells me that I have this lesbian vibe, I think she means it from like, I don't know, different perspective or something. Are we talking too much about the vibes?
Maybe a little bit. It went a bit far.
Yeah. It's a puzzle. Yeah. Yeah. So conclusion.
Yeah, and it's a conclusion. It's your channel, Mari.
So in conclusion, we talked about what the difference. We didn't talk about different dating style though.
No, we didn't.
I mean, we can edit anyways.
yeah.
But like,
I definitely asked that though.
we should talk about that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Cause what time is it now?
Yeah, I feel like now it's
Right now, 24 minutes.
oof.
Oh my god.
Okay, but yeah.
Okay, so we talked forever about these vibes, but in the end, Rei has a really good conclusion, so I'll give it to Rei.
Well, thank you. No, but I think I and most people judge, the people's sexuality on how they look solely a lot of times, because that's like the go-to, and that's what we've been taught, growing up, how a gay person looks and how a straight person looks. But just as we were talking about, I think it's very important to feel the vibes of people, because the vibes, especially like if you get people out of their if you get them out of like the the stereotype and into like their comfort zone, I think people can really open up and give you a vibe of what they actually are. Those are my 2 cents.
Thank you very much, Rei. So that's all about the vibes.